Hey there guys, Peyton Snee here again, and in this video I'm going to show you guys all 12 of my Friday the 13th movies. Yes, I have all 12 series of them, and I'm just excited that I have them finally. Um, been watching these since I was like 6 or 7. Yeah, I was real young when I watched them, and let's just go ahead and get started. Well, before I do, just want to let you guys know that this will probably this or probably tomorrow would be my last video for YouTube because I'm not gonna have cable for a while, and if the cable gets shut off and the internet does, and that means I can't do the YouTube videos anymore. So like I said, the Friday the 13th one, which is this one, could be the last video. Well, there might be a part 2 in it, so the part 2 could be the last one, or the new episode of Web of Lies tomorrow could be the last one. So, anyway, let's get started. Now, the first one I have is the 4 movie collection of Friday the 13th. This is the deluxe edition. So, there's the first one, Friday the 13th Uncut, Friday the 13th Part 2, Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, and Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which isn't exactly the final chapter. Okay, so here's the side right there. Here's the back. There's the hockey mask right there. There's those are the special features in the red right there. Alright, and I watch special features sometimes. I like the ones when they did that spoof thing, the one about the Lost Tales from Camp Blood, I believe. Yeah, that's what it's called. The part 1 was the best. It was on this one, but for some reason this one doesn't even have special features at all. For some reason, it does. So that means it doesn't even have part 3, the Lost Tales from Camp Blood 3. I don't know why it doesn't. I mean, the only special feature that one has is the theatrical trailer. That's it. Alright, so anyway, the uncut version, well, basically, I got this because, like, I got this last year at Walmart for, like, $12.96, and I, at first, when they came out with the deluxe editions of Friday the 13th, I wanted to collect all 8 of them, and my wish came true. Yep, and I especially wanted to see what they did with like, different the uncut version of the first film was, and, there was some good scenes that were extended, like, there was only 3 scenes, actually, but it was pretty good. The one when that girl, Annie, the one, she runs into the woods and gets her neck slashed by, um, Jason's mother, the one that was smoking, the guy who was on the bed smoking the, cigarette, or I think it was a marijuana, and Jason's mother, or Mrs. Voorhees, you could say, has that little spike or that spear, and it goes through him, and that scene, and the one when Mrs. Voorhees gets it through, gets her head cut off with the machete by the survivor. Alright, basically on this one, basically, it showed what it looked like at, 1958, what happened. Then years later, cause like the killing was going on, and, um, shit, and then years later, they decided the camp was closed, and years later, they decided to reopen the camp again. And then when they did that, they knew it was a big mistake because then the killing started getting worse and worse and worse. They don't know what the hell is going on, and then they find out. Well, one of them finds out who the killer is. That's good. That's one of my top first favorite films, or part on this. All right. Then you get the Friday the 13th Part 2. Now, this one, 5 years later, well, you see the survivor. The survivor's supposed to be Adrienne King. She was a survivor in the part one, and yeah, and you see her just only in the beginning in part two, when she's in her apartment or her house, and Jason kills her with the knife and through her head, and same thing. Well, all right. Well, it took place at this other camp. It wasn't Camp Crystal Lake. It was another camp, I guess, for like teenagers, and Jason's all around killing people. Now in this one, Jason's on this one, but he doesn't have the hockey mask yet. He has the sheet around his head. But that's when he gets it, and what I'm about to review right now, in the part 3 in 3D. Now, basically, in this one, Jason gets the hockey mask yet, but starts like, it was about when this girl, her name was Chris. Her and her friends, they're going to visit Chris's boyfriend, and they go to his house, and they're like spending time there, and Jason, he's like killing everyone, and they don't know what's going on, and yeah, that's also a good one. That was especially good in 3D. All right, and then for Friday the 13th, the final chapter. But this one, I mean, it was okay film. The final chapter. Well, you could say part 4, but there was just some flaws I just didn't get. I mean, cause in the first story, in the first one, they were doing that thing when they weren't showing who the killer is until the ending and that stuff. Well, those two movies, that happened actually, because that's because we didn't know who Mrs. Voorhees is until the end. And same thing with this one, part 2. But part 3, it was doing it to some. Well, that's because Jason didn't find the hockey mask yet. He cut this guy's he killed this one guy who had the hockey mask, and he stole it from him, and then he put it on. But this one, I don't know why, but it kept doing that as well. It wouldn't even show his face until the ending. I mean, that I don't even get, because we know who the killer is. We know who the killer is. We know it's Jason. We know he already has a hockey mask on, and I don't know why they still did that. I mean, I just don't get it. Alright. Here's the 3D glasses for the third film. Yeah. The red and white classic shit. But I like how the glasses look like that. It's like the shape of, well, not the shape, but has the design for Jason's mask, or the hockey mask. Alright, so there's the uncut version, or the first film, part 2, part 3, part 4, or the final chapter. Alright, so probably I'm gonna review about the second one I'm getting ready to review, then I'm gonna do a part 2, because I've been talking about that one for almost 8 minutes now, and I don't have much time on here. I could only use 15 minutes on this. I don't even know why. I mean, other people are can extend their stuff. They can go up to 48 minutes, and they're putting all those full movies on there. Well, anyway, next one is Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. This is the deluxe edition, so yeah, I have all the deluxe editions. Alright, here's the side. And here's the back. Terror is Reborn. Special features. Alright, there's the disc. Now, this is my top second favorite Friday the 13th film movies. Has to do with this kid named Tommy Jarvis, which, oh shit, He was in part 4 though, but he was like a kid then. But here, he's like maybe like I don't know, probably like in his 20s in this movie. But like, he, after getting released from the mental hospital, he gets sent to this place where it's a rehabilitation center, like where like to like get better at society more. Like it's sort of hard to explain, but like where he go, like he can do like almost anything he wants to like get used to the to life again. Like you probably know what I'm talking about. But basically, yeah. This one we're considering Jason's in it, but he is not. Basically has to do with a guy named Roy who's killing people, and well, there was this kid, well, this fat kid. Um, he gets chopped into pieces by this one guy who had a badass attitude, and then when the when his ambulance came, Roy saw. Turns out Roy found his son, because the kid that was chopped was his son, and he was shocked when he saw the body of his son, and then he starts going on this like crazy spree. I mean, puts on, I guess, well, he did like a copy or like a copycat of Jason, I guess, to make people think that Jason's back alive again, killing everyone, but it was really him. But this is my family's favorite movie. This is my second favorite as well. I mean, it really is. I mean, you could just tell like on most of them so far, they're like they have like a serious tone, but some of them are like not serious though. Anyway, this is part 1, so I know I only talked about those few so far, but we'll talk about those few in part 2. So, part 2.